So good night and welcome to another interview of The Shield Doing the Couch. Tonight I'm joined by Miguel Meza, the lead singer from the band Meza-Mountaineer. So Miguel, how's everything in San Francisco?
Everything's good. I'm like 30 minutes away from San Francisco, so it's
Oh, nice.
but it's yeah, it's good. Everything's good in the Bay Area, man. It's good.
Yeah, it's great. And obviously we're here to talk about the new album Giving Up the Ghost, which came out not physically but came out digitally on Bandcamp and all the streaming services last Friday. I've been really listening to it, and it's a great album. I really like how much of the shoegaze element you brought on this one.
Yeah, I feel like that's always been part of our sound. We've always enjoyed shimmery guitars, pretty sounds, and just reverb vocals. Yeah, we've always enjoyed all of that. So I feel like all of our records kind of have a shoegaze feel, but I feel like this one's definitely a bit more hooky than the last.
The last one, a little bit. I thought about it a little bit. So for you, what are your main musical influences?
Oh, well, I love Depeche Mode and I love the Smiths.
Yeah, I think
I listen to, I do have some shoegaze stuff like Slow Dive and My Bloody Valentine that I really like. But the main things that I listen to a lot are like Depeche Mode, Alice in Chains.
I love Alice in
a lot of 90s stuff. Don't really listen to a lot of metal. I mean, I do. Obviously, it's a lot of this. I grew up listening to thrash and stuff like that, and I love Metallica and things like that. Slayer, Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, like all of that type of stuff. But I mainly find myself listening to a lot of 90s recently.
You and me both. I love, as you can tell by my wall, I love the 90s. It's the best. I think a lot of people say the 80s, but I think the 90s had the most variation of styles. There were so many good albums. I think it also because I grew up more like listening to music in the 90s, so it probably holds dear to my heart. But as you, I love the 90s as well.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the 90s as well, so yeah. And I feel like a lot of the good bands from the 80s crossed over into the 90s, like Depeche Mode, for instance. Like they got really grungy with Songs of Faith and Devotion, like grew out his hair and got on the heroin and stuff. Like
oh yeah, they got really darker in the 90s, like compared to their 80s sound to the 90s. They brought the darkness. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So how do you feel about Mountaineer's growth and evolution from album to album?
Well, there's definitely been an evolution. I feel like can you hear the baby crying?
I have 2 kids, so that's okay. I know what it's like.
The evolution vocally, I think you can notice if you go all the way back to Silence and Slumber. When we wrote Silence and Slumber, we the main focus was let's not do any screaming. Let's see. It just wanted to do something different. And then with Passages, we got a lot more into post rock, post metal, just kind of more atmospheric, more landscapey, really long intertwined songs. And with Bloodletting, we really got into the doom, heaviness, also. We had
Boomy record, yeah.
We had new members that came in when we started writing Bloodletting. We had a new lineup, so we all started. It was mainly Clayton and I that wrote, and Patrick, our drummer, that wrote the last few records. So when it came to Bloodletting, we had 2 new members in the band. So it just got, and they're from another band, and they play doom, and so it kind of just made everything a bit darker.
Yeah, they brought
which
that
we wanted to explore that side anyway. We wanted to get heavier, a lot more screaming, and a lot more like dark matter, you know, and the subject of the album asked for it too. So
yeah, no, totally. And so when it came time to record Giving Up the Ghost, as a vocalist, what did you wanted to achieve with this record? What was your main goal and idea in mind coming into this one?
Singing wise, or do you mean personally?
Personally, singing wise as well, and lyrically, and the themes that you wanted to explore on this one.
Yeah, so coming off of Bloodletting, you know, Bloodletting was about, you know, shedding skin and you know, letting go of debt weight and stuff like that. We weren't able to tour it, obviously, because of the pandemic. We were ready
to like,
go out. You know, we were ready to go out on tour and all of that, and we weren't able to do that. So as time went on, we decided, well, let's start writing some new songs and see what happens. And we went into it with just like, let's wing it and see what we come up with. But as soon as we started writing, like the ideas like all started coming in. Like we immediately started thinking about death, you know, just like mortality, what you believe in, what's the afterlife, you know, and that's kind of what kind of started taking over. So it just naturally turned into that. And I think it was probably because of the times, you know, like dealing with
definitely, yeah,
with COVID and just watching the news, and it's just, you know, pretty crazy. So I think that turned into one of the main influences for the album.
Yeah, you definitely you brought the feels in the album, and I think for the next record you need to put the baby in the album.
Yeah, she's got a good scream, man.
Yeah, she's got the good screaming. So
we could scream.
You could get her to do the screaming on the next record. So
are you gonna be editing this? Because are you gonna be editing this?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Let the sounds, you know, let's go with the flow.
Okay, cool.
So is there a running concept and theme throughout the record, in this new record? Like, what are the main elements and concept for it?
You mean the concept for this album?
The concept, yeah, the concept for the album.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. You know, the album's called Giving Up the Ghost. To give up the ghost is to die. We have an upside down skull on the cover, in the tree, representing like the duality of death. You know, you have to, in order to die, you have to live. So
no, of course.
It all circles around death, and it's like you know, an ongoing cycle, life and death, and what it means, I don't know. You know, we'll get there at some point, but yeah, it's just a question of you know, what it means to die and dying, death. So
it's a pretty uplifting album.
Pretty grim. Album, yeah.
Yeah, I want to show the artwork, which is pretty amazing. So who did the artwork for this?
So I put it together.
Oh, nice.
The picture was taken by one of my friends. Her name's Nidia Maldonado, and I was just going through Instagram and I saw she posted this picture, and I was like, oh man, this looks like a great pic. I asked her if I could use it. She said yeah. So yeah, I put it together.
Well, it looks great, and I think it really represents, you know, like the sound of the album, because it's an album it's a very emotional album, you know. Like every song seems to connect, like lyrically, and how they flow together. You really feel the emotions that you're trying to portray, obviously, in your vocals and the lyrics. So the video for Twin Flames, that was a very interesting video. I like the house and everything. And I was wondering what the song is about and who plays the ghost in the music video.
I played the ghost in
You
the
played
music video.
I was
Yeah.
wondering if it was maybe different band members like playing the
No,
ghost.
I played the ghost, and then one of the other guys played the ghost when it was time for me to be in the frame. We tried to make it really subtle so you wouldn't really notice, but yeah, I played the ghost. The song Twin Flame is about death. It's about dying. It's about being connected to someone else and someone who died. And once you die, you're trying to find them. So
you definitely were listening to a lot of Depeche Mode making this record. Did you listen to The Cure as well?
I love The Cure. Yeah, I love all of that stuff. Like the trifecta: Smiths, Cure, Depeche Mode. Yeah, I love that. I love those bands. But yeah, it's about losing someone, and then once you die, you're trying to reconnect. You're trying to find them. So that's why Twin Flame. You know, obviously, Twin Flame could be like your partner. You know, they call it like Twin Flame. They use it for like dating sites and stuff. Like, ooh, find your twin flame. You know,
and you find them in the next life. So
yeah, but well, while you're living, but your twin flame doesn't necessarily have to be like a life partner. It can be anyone. So it's open to interpretation. But basically the story is about, you lose someone and hopefully you can find them once you go into the afterworld,
Yeah, it's a very pretty concept. And on the songs on the album, I also love Bed of Flowers, I think is the name of the song.
Bed of Flowers, yeah.
Bed of Flowers is amazing. And obviously there's a part where it says like you bleed and you're dying. So I'm assuming it's also about death, but is that like the Bed of Flower is like the moment when you are dying?
So you picture yourself dying on a bed of flowers and you're bleeding out.
Yeah.
So basically someone's laying on the bed of flowers and they're bleeding out. And so you're, saying stop the bleeding. You're bleeding. Yeah. So basically the song revolves around someone who's passing on, and it's kind of like, hey, are you still here or are you gone? Like you're on a bed of flowers, left to die, and you're bleeding out. So it's also open into interpretation. You can make it whatever you want to make it about, but it's another situation where death is involved.
Oh, that definitely is a running thing in the record. So if you have to tour with any band, who would you absolutely love to tour with?
Oh man, that's a really good question. I mean, I think every guy, every member of Mountaineer would probably say something different. Deftones would be great.
Oh,
love Deftones. Man, let's see, who Explosions in the Sky would be cool if they would want to have a band that has singing on tour with them. Or This Will Destroy You, that would also be a cool band. Any of those bands like Mono, that would be awesome too. Yeah, Deftones, or maybe Alice in Chains, that would be great too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen Alice in Chains and they're awesome live, and yeah, I think it would go well with this type of like the music that you guys play. So as an artist, if you could collaborate with any artist, living or dead, to go with the theme, who would it be and why?
Oh man, I would love to do some with Dave Gone from Depeche Mode. That would be awesome. Like collaborate on a song, singing together. That would be great. It's just been like one of like the biggest influences on me. They're like the first band that I liked when I was a kid. They're like the first thing that I listened to, and I was like, oh man, like what is this? You know, it was Just Can Get Enough, so it was like a really happy song.
No, yeah.
But that was like the first thing that I heard. Then I was like, oh man, I like this, and I looked for it and listened to everything, and I was just a little kid. So yeah, Dave Gone would be awesome to collaborate with, I think.
I know you mentioned that you listen to a lot of 90s stuff, but is there any like new music or something that you're into right now?
Yeah, I really like Cloakroom. They're a really good band. I think they're from, I don't want to mess it up, but
It's okay. We don't have to.
Michigan or something, maybe. I don't know. Middle America, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know the band, so I would have to
Cloakroom's
Google
really
them.
cool. They're a really cool band. I really like the new Cult of Luna is super good. I like them a lot. What else? Soft Kill.
Oh yeah. Oh, I discovered that band
Yeah.
last year, and they're really good. I think they're gonna play. I'm down here in
They're
Miami.
going on tour soon.
They're
Yeah.
gonna play soon. Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, they got like that 80s, like early
Yeah.
90s, like
It's like 80s, early 90s. Yeah, like
synth pop, you know. Like I love a lot of stuff like that. Cold Cave. I don't know if you ever listen to Cold Cave. I like them a lot too. Drab Majesty. I don't think they put out a record like right before the pandemic hit. It was really good. Yeah. Choir Boy. You like Choir Boy?
I haven't heard them, but these are
If
names
you like all the bands today, if you like Soft Kill, you like Choir Boy.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of stuff like that.
Nice. And so right now I know the record came out digitally, but in March 17 you're putting it out, and I know that there's still copies because I was checking the Instagram. I know that like there's a vinyl variant that sold out with Live 4 Records, but you still have a few copies of like the light, the one that looks like green.
Yeah, so the blue green marble just sold out, which is super cool. Like that's like what you wish for. You want to sell out of the copies of things that you put out.
Of course, yes.
We still have copies of it's a yellow, green, blue smoke.
Nice.
What it's supposed to be. I mean, you know, we just have mock-ups. We still have, you know, the vinyl. I haven't seen what the vinyl is actually gonna turn out like, but you know, it's always different. You know, mock-ups always kind of show kind of what they're gonna look like. But yeah, so we still have the yellow, green smoke vinyl still available. But yeah, and there's CD and digital for people who don't like to
people who want to
don't like to collect tons of stuff and take up space.
Yeah, no, I like to collect some albums like yourself, like I see in the background.
Oh yeah, man, it's like an addiction. I can't stop.
Yes, expensive, but it is an addiction. So
yeah,
you already put out 2 singles. Is there any other song on Giving Up the Ghost that you will release as a single or a new
Twin Flame was the last single. We started with When the Soul Sleeps was the first single. There was no video for it.
I think there's like a lyric video.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a lyric video. Well, it's not. I don't think it's a lyric video. It's just like a visualizer. It's got like some movement. So that was the first single, and then Better Flowers, and now Twin Flame, which has been out for I think.
Yeah. How long did the recording process for this album took place? Was it hard to like record with the full pandemic mode?
No, I mean we were all. I think we were all vaccinated. I think we were already vaccinated. I think the first dose, first or second dose. I can't remember. It's a little blurry. I think we were vaccinated already. But we recorded with our good friend Ben Hirschfield, and he's like a good friend. So it was pretty comfortable, and he had already been vaccinated as well. So we went in there and we were wearing masks. It was comfortable. Yeah. So it wasn't that hard. And it took about, I think the session was like a week and a half. It's like, yeah, it took about 7 or 8 days to record everything.
Yeah. Are there any songs that didn't make the last album that will see the light of day?
Not for this one. For this one, we wrote the songs, and we thought about adding one more song, but we didn't want to force it. Like when we decided to, it was always like we weren't even gonna work on any music. We were still gonna wait to just go and play Bloodletting as soon as we could.
And you should play that album when touring comes, because it's an amazing album.
Thank you.
So you should totally play Bloodletting, because just play both.
Oh no, we will. No, we're already working on a live set. And yeah, I think we're playing at least one song from every single record we've put out. But yeah, so we were like, I don't know, we were like, let's just wait. And then it just kind of, the itch came where we're just like, okay, let's start writing some new songs. And yeah, like that was the question, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, and it became Giving Up the Ghost. So
yeah, and we didn't want to force it. I think it just came back to me. We didn't want to force it. So like the songs that we wrote were the songs that ended up on the record. Like I said, we were trying to work on an additional track, but we didn't want to force it. Like we were in the studio and we're like, oh, we could write something and just kind of like, throw it in.
Yeah. But if you didn't feel it, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, we didn't feel it. Like these songs like all made sense together, and like the record starts and then it ends, and you can start all over again. It's like
because it's a shorter album than Bloodletting, but it's that like you don't lose the expansion with the album, like, because if it's a really long album, some people might want shorter. So I think that the length works well for the concept, and it's a very replayable album. So I think that another song maybe wasn't needed for that.
Yeah, it didn't feel like that, because we did have a secret track on Bloodletting. The album ends, and if you listen to it on vinyl, you listen to Ghost Story, and that's the last track. That's it. But if you listen to digital or CD, I think like 20 seconds in, like the secret song plays. And same with digital, it just plays right after Ghost Story, which kind of was a little weird because Ghost Story is the last track. Mm-hmm. So the secret track playing right after kind of like, I feel like it kind of like ruins the feeling when you listen to it digitally. But when you listen to it on vinyl, like you get the full experience for Bloodletting. Yes. So like the right experience, I mean.
Yeah. So obviously, what's next for Mountaineer?
Well, right now, we have a show coming up April 1st in Oakland. We're playing at the Golden Bowl with a band called Destroyer of Light. That's going to be our first show. I guess you could call it post-pandemic, although I think we're still in the pandemic, right? So
pandemic later.
Yeah. And we're planning on touring later in the year, where we want to set up like at least like a 10-date tour. It's still pretty, we're still talking about it, so it's nothing set in stone, but we want to go out and just be able to play songs from Bloodletting and songs from Giving Up the Ghost, because it's been too long, man. It's been I said, we were hoping to go on tour immediately, and it all got ruined.
Yeah. And obviously for that tour, when you want the screaming, bring the baby and she'll have the
Oh,
death metal screams added to the
we're
mix.
gonna sample her screams, and
Yeah,
I'll push a button on stage and you'll hear it.
yeah, that would be totally awesome. So Miguel, I want to thank you, for taking some time to talk with me tonight. And everyone, Giving Up the Ghost is now digitally. You can stream it or buy it physically. There's still copies in vinyl for you vinyl freaks. It's a great album, so don't sleep on it. So again, Miguel, thank you for your time. And until next time, the Shield to the Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch.
Hey man,
Thank you
thank you so much. Good night.
and good night.